Hello, and welcome to Our Ventura TV. My name is MB Hanrahan, and today my guest is Moses Mora, which you may recognize his name as being my art partner in the Tortilla Flats mural and reunion project, our two projects that we did in '95 and 2008, downtown Ventura. But Moses actually has a life far beyond that. He's a lifelong Ventura resident, a musicologist, a community organizer, activist, and artist, frequently a board member of nonprofit, local nonprofits, and a raconteur extraordinaire. Moses, I remember meeting you in 1990, 1991, around there, when you had completed a mural for El Concilio in Oxnard. And then the offices were, and it's still there, the corner of 5th and A Street in Oxnard. But you've been on the scene a lot longer than that. So let's go back in the Wayback Machine. Talk about what community activism was 40 years ago.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I love Ventura. I love talking about Ventura, and I'm proud of, my small part in developing the art scene here in Ventura. 40 years ago, we're talking mid-1970s,
right.
1975, 1976. Okay, so Ventura was way different then, way smaller. Okay, it was a kind of town that you might get the sense that you know everybody in town. Of course you didn't, but you felt like you knew every family or like that. So, and we weren't connected the way we're connected today socially with the internet like that. It was a period of time before Ventura was known as the New Art City, all right? It was a period of time before places like Art City, Stoneworks, The Wave, the Bell Arts Factory, all of these wonderful arts organizations that make Ventura interesting today. There was none of it back then. In those days, the Cultural Affairs Department wasn't even organized yet. A lot of Ventura, like a lot of towns across the country, put their emphasis on the parks and recreation. And very often, that was what they were providing to the people was arts and crafts with more emphasis on crafts.
Was this something that would have happened over at West Park, the West Park community?
That's the best example, actually, yes, West Park. It was a period of time also when there were no murals in town. Like we're blessed with many murals today, many of them yours. But the one mural that I do remember was at West Park. It came up in the mid 1970s, and it was the space, the south wall of West Park. It's a space that was given to you at one point.
To redo.
To redo, yes. That was the only mural then, so there wasn't a push like that. The Artists Union wasn't around then. Many of the artists who eventually moved to Ventura and made this place a great place, weren't here yet, you know. So I myself, I had a job, a part-time job with the city of Ventura, Parks and Recreation, and my position was one of a community liaison. And my job was to go to meetings in the community and participate and let the city know what were the concerns of the city and the communities back then. So I worked with the Ventura Avenue Neighborhood Council, which was a forerunner to what we call today the West Side Community Council.
Was it like how it is today, where it seems to be like activists, interested humans, artists that are around there, business owners like that, the police organizations? I don't know. That seems to be what it's.
Yeah, it was part of that, but for the most part, it was all lifelong residents, people who had a real vested interest and love for Ventura. If you went to the meetings today, there's a lot of people who they come to town and they want to get, familiar with what's going on in town, and they can attend one of these neighborhood meetings and get to know people and like that. So the Avenue Neighborhood Council actually came about as a result of a tragedy, a family tragedy of a house burning down, and this woman just needing help and neighbors rallying to her support and helped this woman out. I remember her name was Mrs. Sid. And after that, they just stayed together, trying to do the best they could for the Ventura Avenue neighborhood.
Well, I know, just because I know you, that at one point in time, or maybe, I don't know when your interest in like promoting, for want of a better way, the resurgence of Native American consciousness. I know in our particular geographical area it was the Chumash, but your background is different, even though you come from, you were born in Ventura.
Yes, I was born and raised in Ventura and raised with the Chumash people. However, my family came from New Mexico.
Right.
All before me, they were from New Mexico, and we landed here in the Tortilla Flats area, and I was born, here in Ventura. I feel very blessed. I feel like I come from two very special and beautiful places, Ventura and New Mexico. New Mexico, they don't call it land of enchantment for nothing, and Ventura is a place that I've never left, and there's reasons for that too. It's just a really great place. In terms of my Native American activities, it's just something that's part of me, my cultural heritage. It's what keeps me in balance. As human beings, we have ups and downs. We get knocked out of balance sometimes. We're not centered. But the Native American ceremonies, the sweat lodge ceremonies in particular, is what keeps me upright and in balance.
So how have you, I know that today, in current times, you still help facilitate sweat lodges that are open to like-minded people in the community. Talk a little bit about what you used to do with the youth at the Correctional Authority.
Oh yeah, for 16 years I was a volunteer at the California Youth Authority, and we had a Native American program. Actually, it still continues to this day, a Native American program that involves a sweat lodge. And I entered that when I was asked to be part of it, thinking maybe there'll be a few lives that we can reach and impact and change. The reality became there was only a few of the young people that we didn't reach. We made a difference. I know I would drive up there in the parking lot, parents would be there visiting, and they'd see me with my drums and different things that I was going to use for the ceremony, and they'd approach me and they says, our son, he was a tough one, and nothing penetrated him. But he's been writing to us saying that for the last year he's been attending sweat lodges, and man, have I seen the change in him.
This is the Youth Authority in Camarillo?
Yeah.
Wow.
California Youth Authority.
Yep, I've been out there myself. Wow, that's very cool. And sometimes don't you interface with Homeboy Industries in Los Angeles as well?
Yes, I do. Homeboy Industries / Homegirl Café.
Thank you.
And they come out here too and sweat lodge with us.
So brilliant. The other thing that you have, well, of many things that you have in your background, is you're a Vietnam vet. So how has that experience colored your activism, if at all?
Well, that was a journey. Being a Vietnam veteran, it's because you can't take someone at age 18, which I was. When I arrived in Vietnam, I was 18 years old. I soon turned 19, but I was back and I was still 19 years old. But you can't take a young person who's not fully formed and put them in a situation where daily or even weekly or even if it was just monthly being traumatized by war. You can't go through a year of war and come out the other side and say, hey, I'm okay. You know, you're not okay. You're not okay. So, you know, I was damaged goods when I returned to Ventura, and I had to learn some lessons, and I had to grow up. And the whole process and the whole journey, Vietnam was something that certainly marked me as a person and our society. Also, something that we had to work with, something we're still working with. You know, PTSD is very real, and a lot of people are dealing with it. And it's not just the vet, it's the vets' families, their wives, their girlfriends. You know, they know best, you know, what the effects were on the Vietnam veteran. So, but I think I'm okay. I'm okay, aren't I?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do what I can to help other vets, to help people, you know, because I was everything. You know, we go through the generations. You were a kid, you were a teenager, maybe you were a troubled teenager. You know, maybe there's reasons why I identified with those kids in the California Youth Authority, reasons why I identify with the Vietnam veterans and with the artists, you know, and the Native Americans. You know, there's real reasons, human reasons that, you know, help make me who I am. And I just try to share the information, the knowledge that comes my way. If I share it with somebody, if it works for them, good. You know, if it doesn't, you know, take it for what it is and use the things that work in your life. You know?
Okay, well, in the last couple of minutes, do you want to say something about what's going on with, you know, we did the mural, we did the Tortilla Flats mural, but the Tortilla Flats Committee, which began because of the mural being done, has gone on to continue to archive materials, hold events, hold public information sessions and such. Do you want to talk about that a little bit and tell people how they would get in touch with or find out more about the Legacy Project?
Thank you for that question. You know, when we finished the mural the first time around, when I walked away from it, I thought, I will never get an opportunity to be involved with a project this great, this rich. And I wonder, what am I going to do? And it was actually at that time, right when the mural was finished, that I went to the California Youth Authority and got involved with a 16-year project over there that was also very rich, you know. But yes, today we have the Tortilla Flats Legacy and Committee, and we meet often, monthly, and we just put up a new not a website, but a Facebook page. Anybody who wants to reach us can go to Tortilla Flats Legacy. They'll have contact information, they'll see photos, videos, and it's a good thing. Like us on Facebook.
There you go. So, and as far as you yourself, how can people contact you? I know you're a at-large type of person here, so.
The Bell Arts Factory, primarily. You know, I'm still on the board of directors there, and so I'm easy to find around town, you know. But the Bell Arts Factory, and you can reach them at their website, bellartsfactory.com.
I think it's .org, maybe, bellartsfactory.org.
Okay. Probably if you just put in the Bell Arts Factory.
That's right.
It'll work.
You're right.
You know?
You're right about that. Well, Moses, you're a fountain of experience. I want to just thank you for being in our community, for staying in our community, for sharing with our community, and for being my partner. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Our Ventura TV. My name is MB Hanrahan, and we'll see you around.